Hello and welcome to the week 2 update. If you're noticing the date on this video, it's not done on Thursday. As I said, I do it every Thursday week. It's actually on Sunday and we actually got some pretty heavy snowfall. That's just some additional information if you wanted it. But the reason I'm doing it now is because what you see in front of you, this development blog that I've now got up and running, means that as long as I'm doing a video once a week, heck, I could do videos more than once a week. There's a video up on my channel you can see here that when I was testing around with Taiko on Osu. So they're not going to be updates every single day by the day on the week, but I'll sort of update whenever. But the main point is you can now go to this blog and see everything I do, as well as sort of just text updates as well as video updates. And I've done some writing on my background and why I've wanted to do this project. I'm going to assume if you're watching this video, you're watching it from this blog development website, because I'm uploading each video onto it. But in case you haven't, I'll leave a link in the description below to this website. So this has been mostly what I've been doing over the past week and a week and a half, I guess. It's been setting up this blog and sort of been setting up my stall and my ideas to sort of try and get across what I'm doing to people who basically don't know me or who have no understanding of what I do or what I want to do. Another thing I've been doing, as I said, is I've been following this website, Bad Logic Games, who's done the onset detection tutorials, and on one of the pages he mentioned something in processing. He mentioned that Minim, which is a sound library in processing, had a kind of beat detection example built into it. I'll quickly open that now. Processing, something I worked with in the first year, is how basically I learned how to program, so it's nice to get some reference on that. And here's the example. The code is very simple. They've got built-in functions to Minim, is kick, is snare, is hat, which I guess is trying to detect if it's a kick drum, a snare drum, or a hi-hat. And basically what it does is saying when it's detected that there's a kick drum, say, it makes the text of the kick drum bigger as to emphasize it being hit. I'll do a quick demonstration. It's not very good, as you'll see here. I mean, this is the default music as well, and it doesn't seem to pick up very well. It's very dodgy. It triggers something seems to trigger randomly. As you can tell, it just doesn't seem to work very well. So I decided that I'll sort of try my own version of this within C++. And the way I've done it is very sort of, I've been calibrating everything specifically to the sample that I've been working with. It's just some drum loop that I got off freesound.org. Basically, I'm doing the exact same thing as them, except I'm drawing boxes because I'm sort of taking some code I did previously for my audiovisual work, where I had boxes getting louder based on amplitude. So I've now got boxes, instead of kick, snare, and hat being written in words, I've got 3 little cubes that get bigger as they're triggered. So that's what that's doing, pretty much the exact same as what they're doing, except with boxes instead of a text. Except here, what I'm doing is I'm sort of calibrating each individual drum separately. So for the kick drum, I've put a low pass filter on it, a low res filter, but I'm not dealing with the resonance. I just wanted to use the low res filter because it allows me to use frequency rather than a value between 0 and 1 that I can actually cut off. So I'm pretty much shoving a low pass filter on what I'm saying is the kick drum, because that's obviously low frequency sounds. Then with the snare drum, I'm sort of grabbing, sort of doing a bandpass filter by putting a low and a high pass filter on at the same time, which basically sort of grabbing the middle values. I say middle as best as I could, and then the hi-hat sort of dealing with all the high frequencies, and then so that's what these lines of codes are doing. I'm just playing back the sample normally, because I don't want to play back any filtered sound. I want to play back the sample as you get it. And then basically what I'm doing here is I went through using this quick if statement. I was basically sort of testing like the minimum threshold I could give to it. So like as soon as the snare starts triggering, then I have that as the threshold, so it doesn't trigger the kick and the hat, and the same for the kick. I want it so it's only triggering when the kick drum's triggering and not when the snare and hat is triggering. And it worked pretty well. There are some, you'll see when I play the code, there's some things that the hi-hat seems to be triggered by the bass sometimes, because I mean with drums they go through all different types of frequencies and it's hard to calibrate it accurately. And I mean in the long run, you're not going to be able to do this for my final project, because obviously I guess you could have the person calibrating. If it was like a drum loop like this, you could just say move this slider until you can only hear the snare or till you can only hear the hi-hat. Even then it wouldn't be very good, but the fact that they're playing through a whole song, and I'm going to see if I can get it to do it with songs that don't necessarily have drums in them. This isn't a perfect solution, but it's just I wanted to get some code down so I could start visualizing things. So basically I just did my own version of that minim example with some hard-coded figures for the sample that I'm working with. So I'll give it a play. Okay, so the green box is the kick drum, the red box is the snare drum, and the blue box is the hi-hat. And as you can see, it works pretty well. The kick drum has he's using it's like a double bass, double kick drum. So the thing is, when he's doing the double kick, for some reason the first one always sets off the hi-hat, so I'm thinking it's a higher frequency, because obviously the bass drum is going through a few frequencies, but for the most part it's pretty accurate, you know. For the most part it's working a lot better than the minim one was. Obviously this probably wouldn't work as well because I've specifically calibrated it for this track, and if I shoved in another track I'd have to recalibrate it. But it's nice to get something down in code form. So this is the start, and let me just stop this. This is the start, and obviously I've got a few academic papers to read on this kind of thing, especially on spectral flux. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing now on, is sort of getting through these academic papers so I can start working with FFTs, something that works better over a general spectrum rather than specifically calibrating hard numbers for the one drum track I've got here. But that is it for now, so I'll give you another video sometime within the following days, sometime within the next week.